Preparing joint returns for married couples. In this video, we'll talk about the Community Tax Center's policy for preparing a married filing joint return. For married filing joint tax returns, both the primary taxpayer and spouse must be present at every stage of the process for us to prepare the tax return. We must verify the identity of both taxpayers at the intake stage, at tax preparation stage, and at the quality review stage. The primary taxpayer or spouse can step out during any part of the process without violating our policy, as long as they are both present at the beginning of each stage. While we sometimes need to ask both spouses many questions throughout the process, we do also want to accommodate families as best we can, since the tax preparation process can last several hours. There are a few exceptions to this policy. The most common is with the use of a spousal consent form. If one spouse is unable to be physically present at the tax site due to being incapacitated, incarcerated, or out of the country, we can give the spouse that is present a spousal consent form for the absent spouse to sign. The spousal consent form is a signed declaration giving Foundation Communities authorization to prepare the tax return without both spouses being present. This form can be found on CTC resources and is updated every year. However, the spousal consent form does not give authorization to sign the return on the spouse's behalf. We will complete the tax return as a paper return and give copies of the return to the spouse that is present. He or she will then get the other spouse to sign the return, and they will mail it in to the IRS. The drop-off program is an option if it is difficult for both spouses to find time to be present together at the site. When using the drop-off program, both spouses must be present at the intake interview, and both spouses must come to pick up the tax return in order for us to e-file. The drop-off process cuts out the time normally spent waiting at the tax center while the return is being prepared. Another situation in which a taxpayer may have authorization to file on behalf of someone else is with a power of attorney form. We'll need to review any power of attorney form presented to verify whether it authorizes the person granted power of attorney to both prepare and sign the return on that person's behalf. A few other less common instances in which only one spouse is present to prepare a married filing joint return include when a surviving spouse is filing jointly with a deceased spouse, or when one spouse is serving in a combat zone. Please note, when only one spouse is present to file a married filing joint return, it is our policy that we will prepare it as a paper return rather than electronically filing it. In all of these cases, we must save a copy of the relevant authorization in our processing envelope for our records.